I'm going to make it Klaus and Ringo talk, and you can be whichever one you want. Klaus and Ringo. No, it's just Klaus talk.
Screw it, we're just gonna talk about the Beatles.
Hello and welcome to Screw It. We're just going to talk about the Beatles. That is the podcast where we do just that. We talk about the Beatles. Look, folks, we get stuff wrong, we leave stuff out, but we do our darndest to get it right. And we love the band. And if you're listening, you love the band too. We are doing today another episode of, I think we're calling it Fab Bag or Beatles Games.
Yeah.
You have to say it very slowly so you don't accidentally trip into a homophobic slur or just some kind of confusing thing. But this is what we did last episode 2 weeks ago, where I have a hat with some pieces of paper each with a different game written on it, and I'll pull one out and the panel will play some Beatles games. And hey, having said that, let's introduce the panel. My name is Will Hines. You're Fool on the Will. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Who wants to go next?
Once again, I'm surprised by this.
My name is Brett Morris, the white panelist.
Oh my God.
What?
Like the White Album. I don't know.
No, I know. But we've stumbled into an accidental alt-right discussion pretty early. Wow, when did
think about where that puts
get whites?
I'm Rubber Joel Spence.
Nice.
Okay, hang on. Don't worry. It's
everybody go get a cup of tea.
Yeah. I'm Katie. Let's hang on. Give me just what's don't pass me by. Okay. I'm ready.
Get Backner?
That'll count. I don't want to find one. I wasn't ready.
Okay. Well, if you find one during the episode, you can amend that. But I think that was good.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. So let's get into it here. I'm just going to pick one and we'll play a game. Okay. Right away, I think what is a pretty boring one.
Reciting lyrics.
The way you said that too is so good.
I know. Different decision. This is where we have to say something the Beatles could have done differently.
Oh, I guess even more boring. I forgot that this was one of the.
Yeah, I know that. Well, I think I have one that I want to propose.
Okay.
I think a fun, different decision would be if they'd never stopped touring.
Yeah.
I would have liked them. Do we even say that last week? Last episode?
I said
we talked about it at one point
about the touring. I wanted them to do what Paul wanted, which is to play clubs again.
I just think if they just never stopped touring, like every year they had to go on some tour, I think it would have kept them together. We would have had a lot more footage, and they kind of quit touring right before technology got good enough to let them play stadiums. Like we would have actually had this good sound quality and some huge arenas. So that'd be my different decision that I wish they did. Starting off this episode with a real plain and sincere and possibly totally boring answer, but
I think mine would be a little like a compromise from that, because I worry that if they kept touring, that they wouldn't have
would have driven them apart faster,
or they wouldn't have discovered so much studio magic. They wouldn't have become these studio rats.
Yeah.
But I do wish every song had a live performance version I could watch.
Yeah.
Them just playing that song.
Even if it was just once.
Even if it was in the studio, or especially if it was in the studio.
Yeah.
Like I want to see the four of them play through that whole song series.
I mean, you want close up of the cable and the equipment labels, like you're just your sound engineer side. Like you don't even need them in it, right? You just need to see Jeff Emmerich setting stuff up in the studio.
Yeah.
It must be really frustrating to see Will put tape over something probably very important on his microphone right there, Brad.
This is because it
I'm feeling ambushed right now.
it
yeah, what is that?
I have this. We're doing video of this podcast, also, listeners, and I have this big old microphone, and it's a blue Yeti.
Oh, gotcha.
USB mic,
Yeah.
but I have black electrical tape over part of it, just because it happens to reflect light onto my screen weirdly, and if I put this little tape, it stops that.
Yeah, I think I just made it more boring.
We're out of the gate hot today.
But I like your idea, Brett. I think that's really cool. Like to have at least one of everything is really cool. I thought that maybe just now, as we were like, if they had just quickly gotten another manager immediately after Epstein died, like a proper, not what's his face later on, but
Alan Klein,
not Alan Klein, but just whoever the best was at the time. What makes me weird about is that it might be that Rolling Stones manager, which wasn't all that great.
Andrew Lang
Oldham or something. Yeah. But if there was somebody out there that maybe less out of the current rock and roll management,
Phyllis Diller
would probably be such. She knows the band. She knows music. She knows England. But
Little Richard becomes their manager.
But whoever it is that would just get their everything in order, so they wouldn't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
I think they should have started a podcast.
Oh man, would have been so annoying.
Or
only Ringo
disagree.
Would on a podcast. You think it would be good?
To hear all four of them chat.
It's actually
if all four of them would be good, I guess.
Yeah.
It's actually really weird that there wasn't some like that they wouldn't have had the foresight to do a podcast like thing. It's like let's just record the four of us talking to each other.
Right. I guess they had their Christmas albums that were sort of like.
But they were so scripted.
Yeah.
But even if they had done, like, if they were like, we don't want to tour anymore, but we're going to do just like a weekly BBC radio show.
Like the BBC thing they did when they were starting out. They did a weekly show in BBC when they were like brand new, basically.
Oh, really?
Did they like talk to each other and goof around?
No, but it was just like they did live versions of they did mostly cover songs, and then they started to do live versions of very early Beatles songs.
And that was the first iteration of Klaus Talk, I think, was on that.
When they all talked like Klaus?
I think it would be cool if they played music and stuff, but also if they just like shot the shit. And then I feel like if they had been doing it at a point where they were like maximally big Beatles, then probably all the recordings would have been preserved in a way that other things weren't. And like, do you know what I mean? If they had been doing that after they were at least on the path to being like the most documented people ever, then it would be cool if some of those were saved and you could listen to them now.
If each of them had like an hour or two radio show that they could play the music that they love so much that...
Oh, that'd be fun. Especially in the 60s when their taste was current. Like, I think Paul McCartney took over MTV once and he just played like the same 50 songs he always loved, which isn't bad, but it's like, we know that you like Fats Domino.
Oh, he played old videos? Like...
He either played videos of himself or like 50s guys.
Yeah.
That sounds like Paul.
It wasn't like he was like, here's one for my bloody Valentine, some shoegaze. I really, here's a deep cut of a Pixies EP. I think it's good, Kim Deal's real good at the bass, it's very innovative, It was all just like, here's me singing this, and then here's Chuck Berry.
Maybe this would be a question for a different game.
Group of people.
More exciting people.
No, I mean, maybe this is a separate game if we want to give our answers, but something that I've thought about before is maybe this has come up on a previous episode, that if I ever met Paul and talked to him enough where it was like, okay, I think I could ask him like one John question.
Okay.
That I would want that question to be, what music has come out that you wish John could have heard?
Oh, what a nice one.
My own.
Yeah. I'd play him my albums.
Some of that Limp Bizkit biscuit.
Oh, we gotta do Paul talk at some point. I think we're all pretty there.
Unfortunately, Klaus Talk is in the hat, so we can't change it now.
I like all your ideas.
I love the idea of trying to think of a good John question to ask Paul. I don't have one ready, but that's one where I wish he'd have a good answer. Like, I think he's a bit robotic in interviews, right? Like he tends to do sort of like canned answers that he's thought about. Yeah. I mean, he's very genial during them and stuff like that, and I love that he's available just for anything at all, but he's not like a big improvisational chatter, really. Although I guess he went on Stern, and they just had a chat.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
That was a really good one.
And Howard has a real way of getting into, like, Paul, like, breaking down Paul's guard that I really enjoy.
Howard's good at that with lots of people. Like, he's just a really good interviewer. His Chevy Chase interview was, like, really incredible. Okay, I do not have a John question to ask Paul, but maybe I'll think of one later in the episode. Let's move on to our next game, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, I'm picking one. All right, this is listener question.
Okay.
Listener question.
Okay, this is from Alex Knight.
Nice. Good.
If you had to look like a Beatle forever, which Beatle and which era would you go with?
Oh my God.
That's really fun.
The same age forever? So it's just which Beatles look is your favorite?
Would you be comfortable being stuck with for the rest of...
This is fun. This is a fun question.
It's got to be George, right?
It's got to be George. Yeah, you want George is the coolest. I'm thinking George, Maharishi era George, you know?
Yeah, right. There was 66 was so cool for most of them too. Like, I'm with you on I like George with just a mustache. I've always liked his little what do you call that mustache? Yeah.
What do you call that? Yeah, he called it a mustache. That's right. You got the name right.
I'm looking up pictures because I don't have
me too. And I just realized how stupid this was. I just Googled 70s George and I didn't put Harrison. I just figured Google would know what I meant. And
did it know what you meant?
George.
Some of the results are just wild. But it actually did.
George Martin at Studio 54.
Teenage boy George walking around London.
I think George at some point in the late 60s, early 70s, I would be down with.
Alternately, 11-year-old Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
just a strange, super smart 11-year-old. Yeah,
I'm gonna try and show a picture from my phone to my webcam, and it's not gonna work. But this version of John,
so that's Pepper John. That's Sergeant Pepper's John.
Okay, I like short hair, mustache, glasses.
Yes,
this big furry coat. Pattern clashing. I think that's me.
I'm with you on that one too, because I think that's one thing that the Sergeant Pepper era I think us as a panel we tend to reduce Sergeant Pepper from its iconic status as quality wise as an album to it's just like it's a good album.
We rip it apart.
But I do think I love their flourish with facial hair and their look at that time. I'm not crazy about how it got so trippy dippy like towards Magical Mystery Tour, but
let me Frankenstein it. I'm gonna say George Harrison's like physical look, Maharishi, with John Lennon's fur coat from the rooftop concert.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney's finger agility. Paul McCartney's fingers.
That's what you'd look like?
Yes. Paul McCartney's fingers. Because I assume I could then play bass really well.
Okay.
And Ringo Starr's social media energy.
Social media energy.
Wow.
Yeah, like his genial social media energy. That's my pick.
Okay.
I would like to. Ringo wins in terms of like later age. Like I would like to age like Ringo's age.
He does all right.
You know what I mean?
Moves like Jagger, age like
Ringo.
Age like Ringo. The most niche Weird Al song. Did you hear the latest Weird Al song, Ages Like Ringo? It's no one's listening to it. It's got 0 views on YouTube.
There was a small period of time, I think in the early 70s, where John like buzzed his hair.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I always thought he looked really cool.
Like the Insta Karma.
Yes.
Video.
It's like a Mike Douglas or something singing in that buzz cut.
Yeah.
I do love there are many iterations of it, some better than others, so I don't I'd have to do some more research to be able to say specifically, but I will say Paul has had a few very good mullets.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say,
solid.
I was thinking
that I would like.
Yeah.
He had a mullet for about 3 decades, I think, or like two, right?
Yeah. I think
probably 73 to like 2001 or something.
But that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how to pinpoint which one is
I don't mind his Spies Like Us mullet. I think is pretty good.
Well, I think
like mid 80s mullet.
Yeah, when he and Linda had the same haircut, like those were peak cringy moments.
Yeah.
And there was some time. I think Wings Across America or whatever that was in '76 or '70. I think they had the same haircut. And then,
wow,
I think that mullet actually worked again.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Brett.
Just thinking like career wise, I feel like that mullet turned off a lot of people, like a generation or two.
What was worse for Paul's image? His mullet or the song "Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time"? What's done more damage?
I will say if you Google Paul McCartney mullet and look at the image results, it's shocking. There are some real weird ones.
We might have to become a Twitch show so we can like share people our video as we do it.
Okay, here was one more picture. This is not what I meant.
He looks like Andrew WK meets like one of the young ones or something like that.
Yeah, Motorhead too.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
Yeah, you're into that. Motorhead McCartney.
I like more like this where it's like...
It's the Ace of Spades. Sorry, go ahead.
This one where it's just...
Good.
This isn't perfect, but where it's like the cut's doing the work and it's not overly styled on top of that. Like it looks more like natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a fine mullet. That's a fine mullet.
Yeah, I would do that. See, that sucks.
Joel's got it. He looks like a happy, well-behaved little boy right there.
Yeah, or somebody from The Facts of Life. Like, there are some.
I'm going to move on to the next.
Oh my God. I just saw a picture I've never seen before. I'm so sorry to the listener.
I just have to point out that we have devolved totally into you all just Googling images. Yeah. We're just showing images to each other. There's no way to share that. We are an audio format podcast. Look at that picture. Paul in the all-white jumpsuit lounging back. He's like, I saw Burt Reynolds in Cosmo. I could do that. I could sort of lounge back like a kitty cat.
Did you have one? Oh, you sent it to us, but it's hard to click that link.
Wait. I just sent another one.
They don't send us links.
They send us...
Brett is chatting with us over the software, sending us just links of Paul McCartney's mullets.
There's just one you have to see. He's in a white towel. Is
it the first one or the second one?
It's the second one, which is the same as the first one. This just didn't work. The second one. Click the second one.
Okay, I can't click it, but I'm cutting and pasting it. This podcast is now becoming inaccessible. Brett, my God, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's so insane.
Did you text it to us?
It's worth it. JamesFortunePhotography.com. I'll give credit where credit's due.
I have it. Here,
I can't see
it. It is Paul. Is that photoshopped? Is that real? I mean,
I think it's real.
It's got to be real. It's Paul.
Here, I'm gonna hold it up.
Oh dear.
It's
so
Paul
if you're watching
with like a
Zoom,
white towel, like a toga. And he's like bathing beauty style pose with one hand behind his head, another one cocked on his hip.
Martha, my dear.
Martha. Blackbird. I don't know.
I think your first chat message, Brett, is, let me read that. Is anybody else bored? You wrote that?
No.
What?
No. That's what you wrote on the first thing you wrote on our chat. Oh, never mind. It was just a bit that didn't work really well.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm going on to the next game.
I love this.
To comment on the podcast.
This episode is incredible.
Was this a bad idea? We'll find out. The pandemic has been normalized. We've lost our fire. Yeah. Right? So Beatles of X. So we have to say, like, pick a category, and what is the Beatles of that category?
All right. I've got one.
All right.
It's not that great, but social media platforms. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
This is where we assign one Beatle to each one?
Oh, wait.
Let's do that. I don't mind.
No, I actually meant like of all those, which is the one that's the Beatles?
Which is the Beatles.
Interesting. I feel like the Beatles might
I think
be
Twitter.
I think Instagram. Like it started with young people and then sort of became mainstreamed, and now there's just fighting.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I mean, Facebook, it's always tempting to go with the biggest one just because they're the biggest. Like, Facebook is the biggest of these.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not analogous to the Beatles, like when they existed, but maybe Facebook is the Beatles now because it's like boomers fucking love it. Is that
right?
I don't know.
Okay, Zoomer.
Yeah. It's hard to compare, I feel like, because so many of the platforms have like overlapping functionality at this point. Do you know what I like?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like
like Snapchat and Instagram overlap so much.
Or that like on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Because I was at first going to say, oh, maybe it's Instagram because to me, that's like the best platform for you can share. Maybe it's the best for if you're like multi-talented or something, that it can be visual. You can post music, or you know what I mean? Like you can share videos of songs. I don't know, but that's the thing. You can do that on Twitter. You could do that on Facebook.
Let's assign each one to one of the Beatles. I think that's more fun.
All right.
Brett, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, I think Beatles maybe are like the old message boards, like pre-social media, where it's like social media made everything quicker and easier and everyone gravitated towards that. But then you kind of miss just the old.
Was there a particular message board that was famous?
I spent a lot of middle school on the Weezer message board.
Yeah, there you go. I remember the Weezer one.
What was the first chat? Was it AOL?
Instant Messenger?
Yeah, maybe Instant Messenger. This is not social media now. This is like a...
Yeah, and then the Usenet news groups are like blues guys.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
like John Lee Hooker is like Usenet, and then Prodigy Chat is Chuck Berry, and AOL IM is the Beatles.
Yes.
So the Rolling Stones are ICQ, the Beach Boys are MSN Messenger.
Kiss is like MySpace. Just tasteless.
Arcade Fire is like a homing pigeon that just shows up at your window with like a
right, with a mustache.
Yeah. Death Cab for Cutie is like a cake with blue icing. No, I don't know. It's getting too complicated.
This gender reveal parties are a social media now.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something kind of sad, Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right, I have Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Ooh, okay. I have one.
Okay.
Fuck, Marry, Kill. Mean Mr. Mustard. She came in through the bathroom window. Polythene Pam. Not in that order. Because I said them in not the album order. Doesn't matter because Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Right. Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam. She came in through the bathroom window.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is pretty easy.
I'm going to... Go ahead, Will.
I'm going to marry. She came in through the bathroom window. I'm going to kill Polythene Pam, and I'm going to fuck Mr. Mustard.
Interesting.
I have the same answer.
Mr. Mustard.
Same
I
answer.
have I think it's the opposite. I will kill Mean Mr. Mustard and fuck the Christ out of Polythene. I think. No, I mean, I'll have sex with Polythene Pam, and I will. I'm gonna take a noose and just slowly lower it down from the top of the building, and until the noose goes over Mr. Mustard, and then I'm going to run to the other side of the roof as quickly as I can, just snapping the neck in that way.
I'm going to shoot Polythene Pam. I'm going to put Polythene Pam into a giant slingshot and shoot her through a window because I still want the big introduction to she came in through the bathroom window, but it is the death of Polythene Pam.
Okay.
Look out!
Wow.
I have one.
But wait, Katie, did you have a...
Oh, I'm sorry, Katie. You go ahead. Yeah, you didn't answer your own.
I think we all agree you marry, she came in through the bathroom window.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that, it's hard. It's hard to not have that transition into it. But I think, probably I'd fuck Mean Mr. Mustard and kill Polythene Pam.
Wait, what is the transition that you guys are in love with so much?
Well, just going from Polythene Pam
into she came in through the bathroom window.
Like, then that means you would
look out.
That means you would fuck it, right? And not kill it.
I'm saying it's a tough choice because the reason I would want to preserve it is more
for that transition.
Well, it's hard for me to say like how.
Well, if you use like if you behead Polythene Pam, they say that the brain still works for like a couple seconds. So you behead Polythene Pam, and then it's just enough to go, look out, and then Polythene Pam's dead.
Or maybe that's Polythene Pam's ghost trying to like.
Yes.
Trying to warn she came into the bathroom one.
At weddings, when the speak now or forever hold your peace. That's Polythene Pam's ghost going, "Oh, look out!" And then
so you're marrying a murderer.
Yeah,
I think Polythene Pam, without the lyrical content, is one of the sexiest. It's a real sexy song to me.
Why don't you fuck it?
That's my proposition.
Oh yeah, you did fuck it. Okay.
Oh yeah, well if it's so sexy to you, then why don't you fuck it?
God,
really
killed by my orange sword.
It's hard to not kill. If you're gonna kill Mean Mr. Mustard, you have to kill him like he is a character in Clue. So you have to
kill him with a
Colonel Mustard.
Colonel Mustard. But
this is before he was commissioned.
Mister. Yeah.
Also, I killed him because he's mean.
Makes sense.
I have a more boring fuck, marry, kill. Let's do Mr. Moonlight, Revolution Number 9, and Run for Your Life.
Oh, yes, with the complicated lyrics.
I'm still gonna marry Run for Your Life. It's the best song of the three.
Yeah,
probably.
And this is maybe me rationalizing things. I think, yes, the lyrics sound bad, but I think there are a lot of John songs that to me feel more like it's capturing a momentary feeling rather than necessarily being a personal statement or like, it's hard to argue that it's not a personal statement because he recorded it and released it to the entire world. But like,
Context.
I think, if you think of it as like an emotional, I don't know. I don't really want to defend the lyrics of the song. That's not my intention here.
Of course.
He's exploring his own jealous, subconscious or whatever. I think he liked that.
It is a good song, but it's not a great one. I try to think of just like 3 sort of like tracks of the Beatles that I wouldn't care if they didn't do them really.
So it's Run for Your Life.
Revolution 9 and Mr. Moonlight.
Yeah. Mr. Moonlight.
It'll be kind of a... Oof, boy, I'm all over the map on this one. I think I'm going to put Revolution Number 9 on the front of my car, and I'm going to just drive I'll be on Highway 1, north. And I'm just gonna put a brick on the gas and hop out of the car and let it go over the cliff.
This game doesn't require you to say how you kill.
Let me tell you how I'm gonna fuck
marry
Mr. Moonlight.
Yeah,
I am gonna fuck Mr. Moonlight. I've decided that.
Yeah,
okay.
There's still gonna be a car and a brick involved.
Yeah, I think just the vocals on it are not unlike I don't know, a
sexual
thing. Yeah, like
John kind of makes everything sexy, especially when he really gets into it. So there's like sex energy in that song, weirdly.
Yeah.
I think I kill Revolution 9 and I'm going to do it. I'm going to take 12 hours to do it. I'm going to yep. And Run for Your Life, I will marry, and I'm going to marry, and I'm going to elope. I'm going to elope with Run for Your Life. I'm going to just run down to the town hall, And I'll say I'll run for my life with you. Run for your life. And Mr. Moonlight, I'll fuck Mr. Moonlight.
And here's the thing about marrying Run for Your Life. I know that this is the case in theory, but in practice, marriage isn't always forever.
Right. That's right.
You could marry. Yeah, I think it's like maybe a Vegas situation lasts a year,
Yeah, let us know if Wayland walks in the middle of this part of your podcast.
Also, you could marry Run for Your Life just out of fear because he's going to kill you if you don't.
Yeah, that's legit. Yeah.
It makes
just enter into a toxic relationship.
I'm going to
Please don't let him find out about Mr. Moonlight.
Well, judging by how codependent I am, I'm probably going to marry Run for Your Life.
Yeah. I'm going to kill Revolution 9 by Burn, and I'm going to start at the fingers. So you get blisters on your fingers. Then it's gonna, the blisters are gonna spread over you.
I would kill Revolution 9 by continually re-recording it onto new tape until it's so degraded that it's unidentifiable.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Should we do another game?
Sure.
All right.
Just make sure it's boring.
Okay. Yeah, this is possibly bland. Would you rather?
Okay.
I have some would you rathers if you guys want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you rather be John Lennon's producer when he's in a bad mood, or be Paul McCartney's producer when he's in a good mood?
I think it's going to have to be Paul McCartney because I would be afraid of him.
What's the trade-off? Like what's the bad part of being Paul's producer when he's in a good mood?
He's like just on and telling you jokes and like doing voices and like putting instruments on his head like hats and
less to do with the music
and
less
like
to do with music.
Quoting Austin Powers a lot and telling you about like the movie he saw last night for the first time and he's getting the plot wrong and you don't want to correct him and giving you a t-shirt that he made of his own face and he's asking you why he didn't wear it. I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess if in the John Lennon version, I'm not the brunt of his. You are. Oh, well, yeah. I think I'll still tolerate. Oh, God, that's tough, isn't it?
I think I would take Paul because even if he's being annoying, I'm still hanging out with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Let me amend it because I guess this question was too easy. John Lennon's producer, he's in a bad mood, but the song is Imagine. Paul McCartney's producer, he's in a good mood, and the song is...
Say, Say, Say?
Yeah, Say, Say, Say.
I mean, I guess I'd rather have my name attached to Imagine.
Yeah. But at least you'd be hanging out with Michael Jackson on Say, Say, Say.
Yeah.
But we actually witnessed him berate in the Imagine movie that for engineer.
Oh Yoko. During Oh Yoko. He just yells at that engineer. It's really something.
I love that.
It's kind of funny. But you know what? I was kind of with him. When you watch the extended clip, the guy is screwing up a lot. It's like
he seems stoned beyond his imagination, the engineer.
Yeah.
I think I have a feeling you would just have a worse experience with John Lennon a little bit as a producer. Like if your goal is to kind of bond with him, have him remember you fondly and like really work, like compromise with you, and like I almost have a feeling he would just, especially on a song like Imagine, where it's just him on piano, he's gonna just like brush you off. And he had that attitude like at a party later where he'd never met you before,
and he truly wouldn't remember you.
Yeah.
Be like, I produced Imagine. Be like, don't remember. Okay, should we move on?
Sure.
Okay. Or does anybody else have a would you rather that you want to do?
I asked. We can talk about it again. We talked about it after we stopped recording the last. What, Joel?
Will we cycle back through some of these, or do we?
Yeah, we'll probably get another one.
Okay.
Oh, then we can do something else first.
Okay. All right. Which X is which Beatle?
Okay, I've got one. It's a two-parter.
All right.
Elizabeth Warren, Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, and Marianne Williamson.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, which one is which Beatle? Okay. Marianne Williamson is George.
Yeah, I think so. Tulsi's Ringo. I think Klobuchar is Lennon because she's angry.
I think.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth is Paul because like I have a plan. I have a plan for that, John. I can do it.
Elizabeth is definitely Paul. I think Tulsi might be John because she's so sort of like in her own. I don't know. I could almost like contrarian or something to whatever you would want her to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or,
defiant. Her defiance.
More of a bomb thrower, right? It's like John.
I just feel like then
Klobuchar,
because that can't be Ringo or anything.
Yeah, I think we need to shift because we don't have a place for Ringo, right?
Klobuchar is Ringo,
but Ringo
just solid behind, like not gonna like do anything.
I hear you.
Yeah, not gonna do anything crazy wild on their own.
But has the reputation for being an asshole too. Right?
Yeah, because she's the one that like threw staplers at employees and stuff, right? Yeah,
it feels like more George energy to me in that regard.
Or John.
That's true.
I'm telling you, Klobuchar.
That's right.
John.
Yeah, that was my first instinct. Was Klobuchar was John, and
interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so that's part one.
Okay.
Part two. Here we go with the B's: Biden, Bernie, Buttigieg, and Bloomberg.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Bloomberg is in there.
All right. Well, Bernie is John, I think.
I think, Bernie's John. I would say Bloomberg is George because he does not want to be taxed.
Very good.
Yes.
I was going to say Buttigieg is George because he's youngest, but he also could just be Ringo because he just kind of is like, looks like he's just getting along with everybody, sort of.
I would
like he's the least provocative energy. He's sort of like,
Maybe Paul is Biden because.
I think so.
To me, this is not a flattering comparison for Paul, but if it's like everyone knows who he is, he's got friends that we like. So
he appeals to a large group of people and appeals to people.
Yeah.
I think I pitch it like this. I think Bloomberg is Paul because it's like the micromanager guy who thinks he knows better.
Yeah, you might be.
Bernie is John because of the populist, sort of outspoken, coming from a position of defiance, sort of most comfortably. Buttigieg is George, mostly just for youth. That's the worst fit of my pitch. And Biden is Ringo, where it's just kind of like, he gets along with it. He kind of fits in, It's sort of like he's more just like he's worked with everybody.
He's kind of zealot.
And he says weird phrases by accident all the time.
That's true.
It's like we wouldn't want him to be in charge, but he's good over here on the team.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
I think Bloomberg as Paul is hilarious.
That's very funny.
I think that's good.
No more sodas over 18 ounces, boys. The sugar's bad for you. No smoking in the bars. It's too much. I know we said I'd leave after 8 years, but I think I might stay a bit more.
I could be president. I could write an oratorio. Yeah. I could be president.
The campaign's half over, but it's gonna kind of come in and do it all myself.
All right, that's all I got.
Pretty good. Running out of energy real early.
Would you rather have a would you rather have a split penis like down the middle where it's split into two, but you can play bass with it like Paul McCartney?
Wait, with the penis?
Wait, what's the would you rather? This is part one?
Yeah.
So you have a bifurcated bass playing penis.
Yes.
That's option one. Okay, what's option two?
But a really good one.
Okay.
Or you're just normal. You're just normal, but you have no talent. It's a normal, unremarkable penis with zero talent. And you give
me that bifurcated bass playing penis.
Yeah.
Here's the I feel like for me this is maybe a trickier
Katie,
answer.
Answer however you wish. You can also adapt it if you want.
Here's the thing. Can you legally play live shows? Or would you go to jail?
You'd have to go behind a screen. Like you'd have to have a little screen up in the middle of your crotch.
Like a little embroidery hoop with black fabric in it.
That's right.
It could be just over 21. Over 21 or whatever, 18 and above.
You'd have to agree to only play for over 21 crowds or have like a little chastity screen in front of your crotch while it fucking ripped out. I saw her standing there on the bass.
Oh my God. A penis playing, I saw her standing there and then saying, when she was just 17, if you know what I mean.
Singing. The penis isn't singing.
I know, but
singing.
all of the image.
Like, you have control over the penis and you're good at playing bass with it, right? It's not an independent bass.
It's not a sentient being where you just hand over the bass to the half of your bifurcated.
I think the bass lines would be reduced in, well, I don't know. I'm thinking of just the sensitivity that we won't be seeing any slapping or popping with this thing.
Well, could it reach up and down the neck? I feel like you're going to have a limited range of notes.
Yeah, which hand is it replacing?
Well, it's bifurcated, right? So like...
Right.
How big is it? How long is it, though? This is logistically...
Well, the only relevant thing is that you can play it just as well as Paul McCartney.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Katie's doing a sketch right now, I think. You're sketching it out.
Yeah.
Does the bifurcated penis have a mullet also? Does the...
Yes. With the hair of your choice, the mullet of your choice.
Right. I have another fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
Some enterprising person on the Facebook group is going to sketch this and then put it on the...
No one's listening to this episode anymore. They're gone. Fuck, marry, kill. Anybody got a fuck?
Yeah.
I have another fuck, marry, kill.
I do.
Okay.
Another hard one.
Okay.
I'm trying to get out of that last subject. She loves you. I want to hold your hand.
Ooh.
All my loving.
Oh.
Ooh.
This is very difficult.
You're going to have to make a choice.
I know mine.
Already.
I think I know mine.
Katie, go for it.
Okay. Marry all my loving. Fuck, I want to hold your hand. And till she loves you. I know.
How are you going to kill her?
How? It's definitely going to be some sort of like death with dignity situation.
Yes. Blindfold or no blindfold kind of thing.
I would say Dyer's choice. No, I think it would maybe be a, probably just morphine overdose. Just let him go gentle,
Gotcha.
I think you're right, Katie, because even though She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand are both such magnificent songs, they are like a little bit redundant, and All My Lovin', if I have to lose one of those three, I'd rather lose one of those two because they're more similar to each other. But I think I'm going to kill I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Yeah.
Fuck She Loves You. No, I'll marry She Loves You and I'll fuck All My Lovin'. She Loves You still has the edge to me because I don't know, there's something just magic about it. I mean, All My Lovin' is a work of genius, but She Loves You is a pop rock masterpiece, I think. So I'm gonna marry She Loves You, kill I Want to Hold Your Hand, and fuck All My Lovin'. I'll kill I Want to Hold Your Hand.
I'm gonna fuck She Loves You. Maybe because she loves you. So it's like she's not interested in marriage, I guess.
Yeah, you'd be marrying a third party, weirdly, yeah.
I'm going to kill I Want to Hold Your Hand with the hand I'm holding. I'm going to place it up to the neck.
Yeah.
Strangle it with its own hand. And marry All My Lovin'. I think that's probably my favorite song of the three.
I'm going to marry She Loves You. I'm going to fuck I Want to Hold Your Hand. And I'm going to tie All My Loving to a pole. No, a stick. A stick. Or this is like an execution. The same thing sort of with dignity of you're a hero, but I have to kill you because of various reasons here. And I'm going to thank you for all your work in the service, All My Lovin'. And then I'm going to say, ready, aim, fire, and the Rolling Stones.
That's your firing squad?
The Rolling Stones are my firing squad. There's only one bullet. Nobody knows which one has it.
Oh, my God.
Ooh. Rolling Stones roulette.
And then what's going to happen is that Mick Jagger is going to know that he has the bullet. And when I say fire, Mick Jagger is going to turn and shoot me in the head.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So you sacrifice yourself?
Yeah.
So you have to fuck and marry the other songs first.
Yes. That's good.
And then
I haven't thought about that,
death.
but you're right, Katie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm logistically minded in this way. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one. All right, I was going to be Klaus talk, but I'm going to call an audible as the host to make it Paul talk. We're going to do Paul McCartney talk.
Okay, what's the subject?
So what's the subject?
Oh.
All right, well.
Little talky poo.
Little talky
a bit of a chat, just sort of chat with each other a bit, just sort of hang out, it's pretty easy. Sort of like conversations with strangers because, you get real talks with them, they sort of don't butter you up, they tell you right to your face they don't like something. So
like a butter pie.
A butter pie.
Like a butter pie.
You're like a butter pie, you're sort of like a pastry to them and they sort of butter you up. It's quite nice, really. What's the topic?
Paul?
What's the topic?
Who are you pointing at, Paul?
I thought Katie had something. I mean, Paul Katie.
Paul Katie, what's the topic?
I don't really.
You don't have one?
I had one that I'd written down for Klaus talk.
You sort of slipped into Klaus talk as you said Klaus talk.
That Klaus, that motherfucker, huh? He took the bass.
Klaus
thinks he's good at the bass.
Klaus, he's all right. He's all right.
He's all right.
Okay. I don't, he's a bit simple. He's sort of like, which is good, I guess. If you can't do complicated things, it's good.
He does a bum bum bum. Bum bum
he's
bum.
Good at the bum bum bum. I like, he's good at the boop.
I heard he had a split penis.
I did.
I did hear that. Yeah, I was talking to I was talking to George. George came on and said, "Hey, Klaus has a split penis." I was like, "Well, he does."
I said, "What?"
Yeah, but he got it in Hamburg. Apparently everyone was doing it after the war. Kids were getting split penises to not be in the Nazi parties.
They called it a verse over there.
Yeah. They were after the war?
After the war, yeah.
The war was done.
After the war, yeah. It was unnecessary. They're like, we shouldn't have done it. It's foolish of us.
Mm-hmm. So his bass lines are good, but he's got the split penis, It's like...
So he's distracted. His blood is...
It's cheating. It's cheating.
Oh, is he using it to play?
Yes.
Oh, that's not right. You can't do that.
Oh, it's show business. I mean, it's
John
show
told
business.
me Klaus is playing with a split penis. That ain't right. You got to leave your split penis out of it.
During the circle jerk, it meant that jizz went two different ways.
That's right. Yeah, I did a circle jerk with Klaus. We put a cookie in the middle, and we all jerked off. But he was jerking off two ends of his bifurcated penis, and I was like, "Well, pick one, mate. Pick one, mate."
That's where I got the idea for hello, goodbye. It's like one was going one direction, the other one.
So just to confirm, the cookie in the middle was for aiming purposes, or what?
Well, you see who can get spidge on it, and then whoever you get to eat it if you win.
Oh.
You get to eat it.
You get to eat it.
You get to eat it.
You get to eat your own.
I heard,
sort of trying to impregnate yourself, which was something we, as lads, we dreamed of.
Go ahead, Katie Paul.
Oh, no. I heard Klaus also... I can't... God. Okay. It's so bad. Nope.
Okay.
All right, let's go on. Let's move on.
Failed
I don't know
immediately.
why the bifurcated penis is coming up way more than I expected. All right.
I was going to say Klaus had to use it to make the revolver cover because it was too many pieces of collage to hold in place that he needed.
I like the idea.
It's actually also the basis of the song Octopus's Garden.
He'd like to be, the bifurcated penis is the subject of Octopus's Garden?
Well, because Klaus now almost has 6 limbs, and that's pretty close to...
He's almost an octopus.
Yeah.
He's too shy.
Well, Klaus with his 2 penises is almost an octopus, So
Klaus's 2 penises, he's too shy of a puss.
Well, so 2 legs, 2 arms, and 2 penises, 6. He's like an ant. But 2 more, 2 more.
Is he spider?
He's a spider, that's right. Yeah, it could be. Well, no, spiders got 8.
Spiders have 8 legs. They've got a puss too.
Spider's got 8.
Yeah, because an insect is different than an arachnid. The different kingdoms,
Right.
So just keep it in mind. All right, listener question.
Oh.
Pregnant pause. Nice.
Robbie Townsend says, "What is the one Beatles song that gets stuck in your head, or you find yourself randomly singing the most?"
Okay, that's fun. This changes over time. But you know what's been true for me the last couple months is This Boy.
Oh, whoa.
Interesting.
I know it's kind of a random one, but just like several times over the last couple months, just This Boy is in my head. I was watching the George Harrison documentary Spirits in the Material World, the Scorsese documentary about George Harrison.
Yeah.
And there's one part where George is signing the papers to agree to break up the Beatles, and they have footage of that. And on the TV, someone's playing old Beatles footage of them singing This Boy. So George like signs the papers, then goes over and watches his young self singing harmony on This Boy, turns to the camera, goes, "Good song though." They're kind of sad. And I think it put it in my head.
I sometimes get, for some reason, and I'm not like, I don't hate the song, but I'm not a huge fan of it, but I always get, Joan was quizzical, studied physical. Like that pops in my head sometimes. And like maybe when I'm tired or just staring off into it has that kind of quality.
I think mine also changes a lot just depending on what I've listened to the most recently.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a consistent one. Recently it has been Your Mother Should Know.
Yeah.
I used to get that in my head all the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The production sound of that instrument at the beginning, the da na 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 na, is so hypnotic. Like I don't even know what that is making that noise.
I think there's something about that song where it's like it took a little bit more for me to love it or to like learn really its structure and love it, because there's some quirky things about it. Yeah. And the melody is like a little bit,
and it like feels unfinished. It feels unfinished a bit too, like it's three quarters of a song, sort of.
I do like
maybe because you worked harder to learn it than it was like it never left. It never left my brain.
Yeah.
Part of why it stays in my head is that the lyrics are like such a like a series of clauses, like a very long sentence.
A series of clauses?
Clauses?
Series of clauses.
Well, then you might have an eight unlimbed clause.
Your mother should know about that penis.
Your mother should know.
What you did.
You need someone to play bass, not come around. So I'm not busy. You need me to sort of hang out a bit. Because I was just going to sort of like, take a nap. But if you need me to come in and play bass on Mother Should Know, I
could play two basses at once if you really need it.
I think that's one of my favorites from the original time we talked about Klaus was the bit of him being like, "If you need anyone." Because Brett was like, "I have my own bass."
Yeah.
I have my own bass.
Yeah.
I've got 6 limbs to play with.
I think I get "Baby, You're a Rich Man" in my head a lot.
How does it feel to be?
Yeah.
I get the first line of, go ahead.
Keeps all your money in a big brown bag, like that part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then for some reason, I get "Tell Me What You See" in my head a lot.
That one gets stuck in my head too.
Just a really, I think that's like
just
an interesting
the chorus of
one.
it, yeah.
And this, when the electric piano comes in, I just love that so much. Something about that choice of that piano right there is like everything to me.
Yeah.
The first line of "Happiness is a Warm Gun" gets in my head a lot. Like, she's not a girl who misses much. For some reason, that'll pop in my head pretty frequently.
Speaking of Your Mother Should Know, the version on the anthology with Paul just sort of working through it is pretty interesting.
Fun to
listen to.
Yes.
We still have to do an anthology episode. We're maybe going to do that. Okay. Moving on.
Sure.
Katie's question. Did we do it?
No.
Katie said she had like a question that did not fit into any of our game templates. So
yeah, it's something I think that we've talked about on the podcast before in some format, but might be tricky off the top of your head. But if you could pick 3 Beatles songs to have written.
Oh, I love this question.
Which 3 would you want to say I wrote those songs?
All right. Blackbird, Strawberry Fields Forever, and I should have said Yesterday, but I'll say
well, you can always change.
You can change it.
Okay, I'll say Yesterday instead of Blackbird. Strawberry Fields Forever, And there's a weird one, but we can work it out.
Don't pass me by.
Don't pass me by. We can work it out.
Oh, interesting.
Just kind of like a solid, just like a great song. Just
great song. All three of those are great songs.
I think "Happiness Is a Warm Gun" for sure is in my list.
I was going between that and "Sexy Sadie" for mine.
Oh, that's a good one.
I might go. Happiness. It's funny. Like I don't herald the White Album as much as you guys do, but I think Dear Prudence might be this.
Oh God, you're making me want to change my answers. They're all so much better than mine.
And I think something has to. I killed it last week.
Something.
I think I murdered it last week, or the last time we did this, and oof, man.
Maybe like
none of them are Paul songs. It's so strange.
"Here Comes the Sun." I would.
Oh my God.
I mean,
that's
like
incredible.
If you busted that out as like your song, I mean, everyone would be like on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like I have some weird ones that
which ones?
I haven't really specifically picked out three, and I actually didn't even know if I was going to say one or three until I just said it. But, because I kind of think that I'm doing a similar route of like, I kind of want like one Paul one, one John one George one, maybe. Paul or John ones, I do. It's probably between "Happiness Is a Warm Gun" and "Sexy Sadie." Paul ones, I get hung up because they're older ones that just like, I love the melodies, like "I'll Follow the Sun" or "For No One," or like those kinds of Paul songs.
I was thinking "I'll Follow the Sun" too. That just came to mind for some reason.
Okay, let's
thinking of "All My Lovin'" of those early ones.
Sorry to. I like what Katie you're doing. Let's have a Paul, a John, a Ringo, and a George.
Okay, all right, that's fun. "Octopus's Garden."
Yeah, that's
100%.
"Here Comes the Sun." For John, I might pick.
I'm changing my answer. I'm going back on my.
I might do. I might do. I know this is crazy, and I know it doesn't feel. I feel like I might do "I Want to Hold Your Hand." Like I think that would be rad to have written even today.
Okay.
And Paul, I'll stay with "Yesterday" for Paul. I think that would be pretty incredible to be like, I'm trying to write songs. Do you like this? I mean, that was my favorite part of the movie, where he just presents that as a song and they think he wrote it.
I'm going to say "Octopus's Garden." I'm changing my John song back to your original idea, Will, which is "Strawberry Fields Forever." 100%. And then George, it's tough between the two, the big ones.
And even "While My Guitar Gently Weeps." I mean,
yeah, I think it's going to be something. And then I'll just say it's something. And then Paul's "For No One." I'm so glad you brought that up, Katie. I think it might be "For No One." To me, that's such a special. Or "I've Just Seen a Face." Ooh, what?
"I've Just Seen a Face" would be a good one too. It's hard.
I gotta stop. Brett, what about you?
Things we said today would be
nice.
Definitely "Octopus's Garden" for Ringo. I'm gonna stick to "Here Comes the Sun" for George.
Yeah.
It's like I want to say either "Strawberry Fields" or "Happiness" for John, even though I just know that's cutting out some really
I know
some ones that would change.
I mean, you're not doing "In My Life." You're not doing "Hard Day's Night."
I know.
"Help."
You're not doing "Help." You're not doing even like "Please Please Me." Would be
Nowhere Man. Or how about "Norwegian
Nowhere
Wood"?
Man? Exactly. Yeah.
Norwegian Wood. Yeah, you're right. "I'm Only Sleeping." I love that song.
I love John's sleepy songs.
Yeah. For Paul, like "Martha, My Dear" comes to mind.
Yeah.
Or like a "Penny Lane," even like that's just.
I mean, this would be hard if you let us pick 5 John and 5 Paul.
I know.
Even that would be hard.
It's so hard.
I think.
Because how about "Revolution"? It'd be fun to write "Revolution."
I don't know how to narrow it down, but I think that's the thing. Is like, which ones do you wish you could say you wrote?
Yeah,
I think is maybe a little different than which ones are your favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, which one do you think? I see what you're saying.
I think I'm coming at it also a little bit in terms of maybe breadth. Like if there are 4 like maximally different choices, so that I can be like, I can write a lot of fucking different types of songs, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
like I wish I could sing Helter Skelter,
Right.
but like if I can write Martha My Dear, I feel like I have some sort of black magic that I can't.
I'm going to change my answer just for fun to say like, what would impress people at a party if I'm sitting there like, hey, let me play you a couple songs. So I would do I Will by Paul McCartney, not just because it's my name.
Yeah,
right. In My Life.
I Will Hold Your Hand. In My Will Life.
And
then you pull out the bifurcated deck and you play
Taxman.
You play Taxman.
Great bass riff on that.
Yeah.
Or you
just my little bifurcated peanut.
Technically, you'd be able to play the solo on Taxman on guitar with it.
Oh, technically,
which is also fucking amazing.
Technically. Did you give? I think I might have cut you off, Katie. Did you give yours all 4?
No, I think. Boy, fuck. It's hard. I really didn't. Well, okay. Octopus's Garden for Ringo also.
Gives you some confidence.
What are the other huge ones that he wrote?
It's just Don't Pass Me By.
Yeah.
It's just Don't Pass Me By in Octopus's Garden.
That's it?
Between those 2 songs.
Amazing. Yeah.
Well, he co-wrote Ask Me Why on Rubber Soul, right? He's got co-writing credit on that. Or is it Tell Me Why?
Is this crazy? Is it a Paul pick for me to choose You Never Give Me Your Money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my Paul pick, I think.
That's great.
Oh, Golden Slumbers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You go to Abbey Road, it's hard not to pick any of that.
Abbey Road is also a tough one. I mean,
I meant What Goes On, not Ask Me Why. What Goes on?
Yeah.
He says, Tell me why. He says that in that song, but it's and then Ask Me Why.
Yeah.
Is a John Lennon song from A Hard Day's Night, but I meant What Goes On. He's got partial writing credits. So you could maybe squeeze that one in.
Okay, so I think I'm going to do. God, it's so. I could easily just pick all 4 from Abbey Road, but I think that I'm going to do Something, Octopus's Garden, You Never Give Me Your Money, and then I'll say Sexy Sadie.
Great.
Nobody wanted to write Across the Universe? That'd be a fun one to say you wrote.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. They were all fucking cool. It's cool they wrote those. I wish I could. Of course.
Even just like Ticket to Ride would be fun to say you wrote. Like just some of the like mid-level Beatles hits are like incredible songs that are just like.
This popped up the other day, Brett. You might enjoy this, but there's a performance recently at some charity, I think, that David Gilmour sang and played Across the Universe. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it's not great footage necessarily, but his voice
just
sits right there shit. With what's that?
Oh, I was going to finish more shit. It's like he should do more shit.
Well, this is sort of perverse, but like he would, if he did just an album of John songs, I think it would be really interesting to hear it from his voice. But it's neither here nor there.
One time Paul's McCartney. Paul's the guitarist for like the Flaming Pie album, that era.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's a good lad. You know, he played guitar for me one time.
Wait, why are you bringing that up?
Just David Gilmour. It's just a Beatles factoid.
Oh, yeah.
That he played for Paul.
Oh, on that album.
Insane. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, he played on also Give My Regards to Broad. He does that solo at the end of I Can Wait Another Day. You know.
No More Lonely Nights.
No, yeah, that's David Gilmour at the end. It's not.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Must be nice to be Paul McCartney. We're at an hour, so I think we should wrap it up.
Right.
Katie, did you want to do that? Would you rather, or is it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh. We talked about it a little bit at the end last time after we stopped recording, so I'll just say it so that if other people want to talk about it, would you rather have recordings of Queen covering the entire Beatles catalog.
Oh, right.
Or the Beatles covering the entire Queen catalog. Or it could be any band, ELO, like whatever you want.
I would really want to hear Queen doing Beatles because I can sort of I'm sorry, I want to hear Beatles doing Queen because I can sort of I've heard so many cover songs of Beatles songs. I can sort of guess Freddie Mercury's voice on those. And how would the Beatles do Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
How would the Beatles do You're My Best Friend? I don't know. Like, I think it'd be interesting to hear what they do with that.
Ringo singing We Will Rock You.
Maybe you're a young man.
We will. Yeah. Can't even do.
We'll rock you.
Can you imagine? Oh, man. Especially imagine like early to mid 70s voice Paul singing oh no,
Someone to Love, Someone to Love.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's all I want.
It'd be incredible.
That's great.
Yeah, I think I want to hear Beatles doing Queen.
I just would love to hear Queen do Abbey Road, like maybe just that.
I keep thinking of placing Ringo and all, like Ringo singing Another One Bites the Dust.
Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. Fat bottom girls, they make the world go round, you know.
Steve walked proudly down the street with his brim pulled way down low.
I think I have one coming to me. Would you rather? The late
breaking?
Okay, late breaking. Stop the presses.
Would you rather the whole Beatles catalog existed, but the Beatles themselves didn't play it? It was like Nickelback. It was like the sound of Nickelback.
All right.
Or cancer.
What's the counter to that? Like the Beatles playing Nickelback songs.
Okay, would you rather
the sound, the like magic sound of the Beatles, but the songs?
I think I'd have to go with the first
so
one.
they like switch producers. Or I was gonna say, would you rather have the Beatles all be alive, reunite for one day, but they can only play Nickelback songs, or they're still dead forever?
I'll see that Nickelback concert.
Or if you if you actually kind of like Nickelback, substitute Imagine Dragons.
I like Imagine Dragons. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. The Beatles, you get one chance to see the Beatles play live and they're just playing Spice Girls or something.
Yeah. Tell me what you want, what you really want.
It's Ringo again.
Zig-a-zig-oh.
Zig-a-zig-oh. Yeah, it's only Ringo singing lead on the one performance.
It'd still be worth it. I'd still go.
Yeah.
It could still sell out stadiums.
Yeah.
I think that's our episode, guys. So, well, maybe we should have left this as a one and done, but I'm glad that we didn't have to do any other research for an episode. Thanks everybody for listening and for the listener questions and for everyone who's just given us such positive feedback about our quarantine episodes. It's a silver lining. We're all trapped at home, but it's, giving us time to do this. And I'll say it again. It's nice.
It's nice.
Thanks to the panel. Let's go around and introduce ourselves again. My name's Will Hines.
I'm Joel Spence.
I'm Katie Plattner.
I'm Brett Morris.
And we'll probably have another episode. I'm almost definitely sure. So see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Screw it, we're just gonna talk about the Beatles.